This is so easy. I just have to sit here for 6 hours and do pretty much nothing. It's not like anything can get past those doors. Huh? Uh-oh. Have you filled out your job application? Good. Applied for life insurance? Great. Told your family and friends goodbye? Fantastic. Because you just got a job at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Every child's dream. Let's face it, the job market is terrible. So it's safe to say that we'll take anything at this point. One interview later, and voila, a late night shift at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. We all know how dangerous this job is. But let's be serious for a second. Not all of us that applied for this job are going to make it through the week. So why don't we test ourselves and find out just how far we can go. Just so you know, we're doing this by something I call the survivability percentage. And that sounds cooler than it actually is. It's just a percentage, and I'll make it go down each night, depending on what your chances of living are. By the way, all these ratings are absolutely true. I crunched the numbers myself. Anyway, enough stalling. Let's get started with night 1. You might be sitting there thinking, I'm definitely getting past night 1. I hate telling good people the bad news. I'ma be real with you, Chief. A good portion of the world is failing night 1. Think about it. You get dropped into this random job. You're sitting at your chair, looking at the cameras after scrolling on YouTube, and boom, the rabbit is gone. Tell me you aren't shutting the door straight away. Not only are you doing that, you're going to be stuck on the cameras looking for him, burning through all the power. Dying on night 1 is a very real possibility. In fact, there are YouTubers that died on night 1. They closed the doors straight away at the slightest inconvenience, and they got. And we aren't treating this like you signed up for the job knowing what's happening, and you came prepared with a flashlight and a suitcase full of batteries. No, you don't know what you're up against. Half the people that get the job are sitting down in the office, scared, and immediately closing the doors, and never reopening them. And you know what that means. Bye-bye lights, bye-bye safety, bye-bye your life. The only saving grace here is that it's still night 1, and you can get used to the place as time goes on. You've also got Phone Guy, who more or less tells you how to deal with these two, which is sure to help out, because right now, you're only dealing with 2 animatronics, Bonnie the bunny and Chica the chicken. Bonnie follows this route. He starts on the show stage, goes to the dining area, West Hall corner, and then the left door. That's the path he takes to get to your door, while Chica comes from the right, from the dining hall, to the East Hall, to the East Hall corner, to the right door. When you see them in the doorway, close the doors. They aren't that active today, but they will probably show up once or twice, just to check up on you, like your mom and dad.
Are you winning, son?
So for night 1, watch out for the animatronics and keep the power low. Sounds easy enough, but in reality, it's much harder than it looks. It's safe to say that I don't have much faith in your security skills, but for the sake of the video, I will give everyone the benefit of the doubt, and I won't drop the percentage down like crazy. The chances you survive night 1 is 73%. So, you got past night 1. Good job. That's call for a pat on the back, or a therapist visit. Take your pick. Anyways, after this night, the smartest thing to do would be to quit your job and run into the sunset with your body still intact. But mama ain't raised no quitter, so ring the bell because it's time for night 2. I've got some good news and some bad news. The good news is that after night 1, you've probably learned how to manage power a bit better, and knowing when you should be shutting the doors. The bad news is that if you think this night gets easier, then boy are you wrong. Bonnie and Chica are still big problems, and they're going to be moving around even more now. Luckily, all things considered, this night is pretty similar to the last one, and as long as you keep your wits about you, it should be pretty standard. But I can't help but think we're forgetting someone. Oh yeah, Foxy the pirate. He usually stays in Pirate Cove all day, but on night 2, he becomes active. Just like we're told by Phone Guy, the only way to keep him at bay is to make sure you keep an eye on him, to make sure he doesn't get up to any funny business. He starts peeking from behind the curtain every now and again, and when he's sure you aren't looking at him, he runs down the west hallway, ready to attack you in the office. And because this isn't a game, you can't use the tactic of flipping open the Pirate Cove camera every 10 seconds, like you're playing this on iPad. Foxy is definitely going to end a few people, and with your nerves so high, the second someone sees Foxy, you're going to scream, and forget all about closing those doors. For night 2, the percentage is all the way down to 52%, still just over the halfway mark. Moving on to night 3, and this night is actually a bit on the calmer side, and by that I mean you get to deal with things you already know. The animatronics do get a little bit quirky, but as long as you use the skills you gained in the first 2 nights, it should be all good. There is someone else that can show up here, but we won't talk about them just yet. There's not much else to say about Night 3. It is a bit more difficult, but it's not a huge difficulty spike. Not big enough to warrant a big percentage drop anyways. Although, while I am saying that, 3 days in this place might be enough to mentally break some people. I wouldn't be surprised if someone ended up making lots of mistakes, or let the power drain quickly. This night is a bit more of the same, but it does get a little bit harder, so the percentage will drop a little bit, and that will be 44%. Now it's Night 4. As usual, the others have been buffed up a little bit, but now we have to talk about someone new. Mr. Freddy Fazbear himself. Freddy can actually appear in Night 3 too. It's a bit rarer for him, but if you're really unlucky, you can end up getting him right by your doors in Night 3. But Night 4 is when you can really start to feel his presence, and he is a problem. Freddy follows this route. He goes from dining area, bathroom, east hall corner, and then he's gotcha. He doesn't even show up at the doors, he just slides in without you knowing. He literally goes against the way you've been trying to keep everyone away. And we don't do second chances, so when Freddy gets his hands on you, it's a one-way ticket to the afterlife. Phone Guy doesn't tell you anything about Freddy, so there's a good chance that after the first 3 nights, you won't even be thinking about Freddy until it's way too late. In the games, you can usually find out how Freddy acts by dying to him a few times, or reading a guide online. We don't have any of those. So yeah, Freddy is a game ender. Combine everything else being amped up, along with him dashing in like a ninja, Night 4 is going to be a big struggle. With the addition of Freddy, and him being trickier than the rest, this is going to be a stage where a lot of people get got. The chances of surviving this night are 16%. Now it's Night 5, and unfortunately, this is where your luck runs out. Now, there isn't much to say about Night 5, except that it's 2 times harder than Night 4. Obviously, it starts off easy enough, but as the night goes on, they get even more aggressive. And when you're being pincer attacked by a bunny, chicken, fox, and bear for 6 hours, you're bound to slip up once. Tonight, Freddy is even more active, and we've already talked about how he's the real danger man. Not to mention, you're going to have to check up on Foxy all night, and that's going to drain your power. While that's happening, Bonnie and Chica are always on the move, forcing you to pay extra attention to them. And while you do have 4 days of experience, that's still not enough, because the level of luck and skill needed are way beyond anything us flesh and blood mortals can handle. Is beating Night 5 possible? I'd say yes. It's technically not impossible, but it sure is improbable. Your chances of beating Night 5 are 1%, and that's me being generous. The actual chances are more like 0.0000001%. And you want to know the craziest part about all this? We're not done yet. Here comes the wild card, Golden Freddy. Here's where you just have to be honest. How bad is your luck? Unlike in the games, where he disappears if you look at him. If Golden Freddy sees you, that's it. GG. Good game. Goodbye. Sayonara. Roll credits. That's all, folks. You're done. So, think about your own luck in life, and decide for yourself. In the 1 in 100,000 odds, would Golden Freddy show up in your office? If the answer was yes, then we salute you, soldier. If you said no, congratulations. You still gotta survive the 5 nights though. Now that we've settled that, we can celebrate. Congratulations to the 1% of you that got through all 5 nights. Here's your paycheck. We're all so proud of you. There's nothing left. You can go home. I lied. There's more. Alright, so night 6. If you somehow survived everything else, then I'm sorry to tell you this, but it's the end of the line. Your chances of surviving are 0%. You know how I said night 5 was night 4, but 2 times harder? Yeah, well, night 6 is 100 times harder. This isn't even about focus anymore. Night 6 is straight up ridiculous. All the animatronics are turned up to a stupid level, and you won't have a single second of off time. And if you think night 6 is easy, then you truly haven't seen night 6. The only way you're getting through this is if you're a person from the top 1% or the luckiest human being to touch the earth. Do you really think you can do this? For 6 hours? Put your hands down. No, you can't. Listen, I'm aware of the indomitable human spirit or whatever and all that, but eventually you have to look in the mirror and say, I'm not that guy. But if for any reason Batman or Lex Luthor is watching my video, I will give you the benefit of the doubt and hold my hands up and say, you got it. But to all my regular human beings who made it this far, it's okay, you can finally rest. We got our minimum wage paycheck. So yeah, that's the end. Thanks for watching. How many days do you think you'd last? And how do you think it would end for you? Let me know in the comments. Personally, I think I can get up to night 4, but then I'd be caught by Freddy. I might end up doing FNAF 2 as well, which honestly is such a mismatch. Just thinking about it gives me a headache, because I'm 99% sure I would forget to wind the music box up, and it's game over in night 1. I think I'd lose the Freddy mask too. Oh well, whatever. Anyway, yep, video's over. Bye.